Hello, welcome to HallowellMe.com. I'm Kelly Sounier, and today we are at the Liberal Cup, and with not only my boss, but owner Jeffrey Houghton. And I'm going to do just a little interview and kind of do some background with what brings us here and what brought you here to Hallowell, because it's very exciting. We know that it brings lots of people here in town. So let's hear a little bit about you.
Yeah, well thanks Kelly, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we've been here now since 2000, so it's been a while. It's been a big chunk of my life, and I think it's been a big chunk of Hallowell's life, at least in the last 12 years. I'm really glad I ended up in Hallowell with the Liberal Cup. It seems to be a pretty good match between a brew pub and a town.
Yes.
The people took to us, and obviously all our staff and customers are local people, and a lot of them have been here for years.
Yes.
So I think that really makes it more of a homey feeling. It really is a public house here in Hallowell.
I know we talked a little bit earlier this morning in regards to what brought you up at this end of town. You know, because I remember years ago it being pretty quiet.
Yeah, it was. Actually, my original partners and I were just walking around town looking for a possible location. There were a lot of abandoned buildings back then, in the late 1990s. So there were some choices, and they all had their pros and cons, but it did seem pretty desolate down at this end of town, so therefore actually the rents were cheaper and things like that, so that was one reason why we moved in here. With the flood factor, didn't want to be on the other side of the street so much, so we were looking at this side of the street. We found this great old building that's been around since 1860. It's a massive structure. It was completely abandoned, so we bought it for very little and put a lot of work into it, but since then it's really gotten established, and I think it's become an anchor at this end of town. So it's nice to see a little life down here.
Oh, definitely. I get to work here, so I have the privilege of being here and being a part of the Liberal Cup, which I think is absolutely fascinating. I know we don't voice it to you that often, but I do take pride in my job here. I think you know that.
It shows.
And I find it very fascinating when I was reading your article on what's happening the other day about people that interact with each other and where they're from. I would say most amazing experience working here was about a year and a half ago. I've been here for about 3 years now. And I had these people from England that specifically, when they came here vacationing, they couldn't wait to come here. The next booth beside them was another family from England, and they lived 2 towns away from each other.
Is that right?
How
I haven't heard that. That's awesome.
Cool is that? I mean, where else is that going to happen but at the Liberal Cup in Hallowell?
Yeah, I do like hearing stories of far-flung customers. I mean, someone told me they were on a ferry boat down in Texas, one of our good customers here, and they look across the aisle and there's someone wearing a Liberal Cup t-shirt. I've run into someone in San Francisco wearing a Liberal Cup t-shirt.
Oh, that's
pretty cool to see that it's spread out, and it's good to see in this day and age that a good pub, a good restaurant can still be worth visiting and seeking out. That is on people's lists these days. Maine's got a lot of great brew pubs, and I know people make that a part of their tripification.
Right.
They definitely go seek out brew pubs. I mean, I know I do when I go visit miles of brew pubs. So, I mean, I think we're a benefit to Hallowell that way. Hopefully people will come here, have a good lunch, drink some beers, drink enough beers to go shopping.
Right, exactly.
and overspend in other stores.
Right, exactly. So. Well, you do have wonderful beer. I mean, I pride in what you produce. And I enjoy it, and it's fun, to see a lot of people around town and just be like, oh, you work at the Liberal Cup, and Geoff's great, the food's great, and I think it says a lot that when your staff is done working, that they either come back and they eat and drink here.
Yeah, I mean,
that says a lot.
And I like to encourage it. I've worked at places where they don't want you to come after work. They don't want to get rid of you. But I mean, you guys are such good friends with our customers, so it makes sense for you to be here and to hang out here. And I think we do have the best beer around, and we make it here. It's fresh.
Exactly.
You can find a bunch of different styles you won't find anywhere else. It was a risk here opening without Budweiser, and we got a lot of grief in the beginning.
Right.
But now we don't get that question too often.
No, I think you've made your mark.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And people know what a brew pub is. When I opened, there wasn't a brew pub for 30, 40 miles around.
Right.
So the whole concept of brewing a beer in here and serving what we brew is a little strange to some people. But now I think if you come in and you see the brewery in the background, you have a little heads up that maybe they don't sell just conventional beer. Maybe I should ask what they make.
Right, exactly.
And you guys are great about showing them. You know, we have a sample paddle.
Yeah.
And you can describe them nicely and get them excited about one thing or another.
Exactly.
So hopefully there's a beer for everyone.
Definitely. So I hope you come down to Liberal Cup, grab a brew, something to eat. It's a fantastic place to dine. Thank you. Good day. That was awesome. That was great.
You know, I should have asked you before we started though if when do I look at the camera?